Jon Scheyer has not gone fishing. In fact, he is in a hunt for a national championship at the age of 37.
He sent people fishing, John.
Yeah. You take over Duke at 34. You take over Duke University at 34 for the GOAT. I mean, we saw Kyle Neptune try it with Jay Wright. We've seen others do it through the years. It has more times than not fallen on its face because it's so hard to continue to run an elite restaurant the same way without that magic touch of an owner. Scheyer takes the ingredients and raises the bar. He assembles a roster that has just been superb because of the length. No rotation player under 6'5". And now Rob Doster. Jon Scheyer is 89-21 as the coach at Duke. His next win would make him the winningest coach in the first 3 years on a job in the history of college basketball. Number one, when Scheyer got named, what were you thinking? And number two, what do you take away from the job he's doing?
I was a little bit surprised because there were sitting head coaches that were still available that were in the Duke family. And I don't know if any of them were necessarily the guy that you would want to hire in that role, but he was 35 when he got hired. And the guy that, like, the first year that I had credentials to the Final Four was the year that Jon Scheyer won the national title. That's how young he is. He looks like he could literally be Cooper Flagg's brother. And I was a little bit surprised that Coach K was turning over the reins of his program to Scheyer, but I think that what he's proven in these 3 seasons, especially this year, is that he is able to bring in the talent that he needs to be able to bring in, coach them up, and hold them accountable. You know, I think it's really impressive that a guy that is as young as he is able to make these players that are going to end up being worth hundreds of millions of dollars in, 3 or 4 years, buy into what he wants and play a role the way that he is asking him to. I think putting his stamp on the program by doing things like having an assistant that was one of Coach Hayes' guys and a former teammate of his out of the program, and bringing in a guy from Kentucky instead of keeping everything within the Duke family, by coaching his own way, by putting his own stamp on the program. Like, all of that stuff is really hard to do when you are replacing somebody like Coach K and you are the hand-picked successor. And the fact that he's been able to do that, to me, says a lot. And I've seen him coach enough in person now where I have a great deal of respect for his ability to manage within a game, to manipulate defenses the way that somebody is adjusting to them offensively, to be able to pick out specific matchups that he wants to be able to find. Like, they hunted Mark Sears relentlessly in the second half against Alabama, to the point where I kind of felt bad for the guy. And the other part of it is, Henson, you could probably speak to this a little bit more. I think the hardest thing to do in college basketball is to build a team in an NBA mold, in the sense that you have size everywhere. You have switchability everywhere. You have guys at the point that can guard fives if you need them to. You have fives that can guard point guards if you need them to, and everybody can shoot. That's what you have in the NBA, right? You have big, athletic, switchable guys that can shoot and that can pass and that can guard 1 through 5. And that's what Scheyer has built here. And that is not an easy thing to do, because most guys of that size are already off in the NBA, because if you're 6'8" and switchable and can make threes, like, you're worth $20 million a year to an NBA franchise. So the fact he's been able to build that in college, where there's a limited number of those kind of players available, is super impressive to me.
Yeah. The word Rob kept using was built. Yeah. You don't hear that for college teams. Like, he talked about it. Coach Scheyer talked about it. He said, look, I knew we had Cooper coming. I wanted to build around him. And I think that is the best part about this team. It was built for Cooper Flagg. And I think you're going to have to start doing that as a college coach when you only can retain 1 or 2 guys, probably your star, obviously, with negotiating NIL. So to see him ascend up to this level, his first of probably many Final Fours, is it's a sight to behold. And coming behind Coach K, arguably the GOAT, right? And sustaining that talent level, and just being a good coach. Like Rob said, at the Alabama game, you're too little. We're going at you. Duke didn't even Duke shot 13 threes. They shot 13 threes. They 6 for 13. They said, y'all, you can't, you too little. How do what they do now, the kids, right? Like what they do this right here? Yeah. So so that's the scary part about this team. They have a staff that's just the game plan. I think Houston's too small too. We know Tugler and Jerron Roberts, those guys, they're fine, but I think their guards are too small. I think they're going to have major problems on that perimeter, defensively and offensively.
Trivia question for the chat. Trivia question. Who was the second leading scorer for Duke in their win over Auburn back on December the 4th? Who was the second leading scorer? Put it in the chat here over the next 30 seconds.
Don't look it up.
My hands are free. It's only 3 guys they could be.
Go ahead and take a guess.
I'm going to go Foster.
Oh, I got it. I know who it is. I know who it is. You got it, Henson?
I said Foster.
Right. He said
I didn't get it right.
Go ahead.
It was Isaiah Evans. Remember, he came and hit like 11 threes in the first half.
So
we're not even talking about him. Scary part.
That's just it. And we did the show that night, and we said, big picture, we're still wondering if Duke can give a perimeter problems defensively. Could they really make guards work to defend them out from beyond the arc? And how were they going to make it work? Well, they've done a variety of things. They've had Sion James take the ball up and have Tyrese Proctor play off of it. They've had Cooper Flagg take the ball up. But, Rob, I don't think that there's more of a thing with this team than the confidence, the swagger, the way that Con Knippel is playing. His last 2 games, 41 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals. When you look at his evolution, he took 3 shots against Auburn in early December at home. 3 shots the whole night. That seems unfathomable tonight.
Yeah, the thing that is so impressive about them is they got a bunch of guys that are like fighting for an NBA draft pick and have an NBA future, right? Like there's NBA stock watches on Con Knippel every single day. Cooper Flagg, for a while earlier in the season, it was like, is he the number 1 pick? Is he not? Then he kind of said, like, guys, I'm the number 1 pick, and everyone just kind of fell into line with that. Same with Malawak. Same with Tyrese Proctor. Henson, I'm curious your take on this because I compared him. I said his situation reminds me a lot of Quinn Cook. And Quinn Cook, when he got to Duke, for people that don't remember, 5-star prospect, McDonald's All-American. I believe he wasn't he? He's Nolan Smith's. Is it his cousin?
Brother.
His stepbrother?
Or something like that.
I can't remember what it is, but they
grew up together, same house, pretty much.
Yeah, they grew up together, and so he comes in and he's a starting point guard for like 2 years, and then Tyus Jones shows up, with Jahlil Okafor, same class as Grayson Allen, and they're like, "Listen, Quinn, you're not the point guard anymore. You got to go play off the ball." And for point guards, like that's an identity, man. Like that is something that is in their head. Like I am a point guard. I am a lead guard. I'm the guy that makes decisions. I got the ball in my hands. And he accepted that role and moved off the ball. And it was a major reason why they were able to win the title. And the fact that he accepted that role is a major reason why he ended up playing. What did he end up like 6 years in the league, 7 years in the league? I think he's still playing overseas in the EuroLeague somewhere. But he made a lot of money playing basketball. And a lot of it was because he was able to accept the role. Tyrese Proctor did that same thing this year. He was the point guard last year, and we were disappointed with the way that it kind of ended with his career. And this season, he has fully embraced being this like 3-and-D off guard that can handle the ball when he needs to, that can be a playmaker if he has to. But he is a 3-and-D guy. And I think that has turned him into an NBA guy. I think he's an early 2nd-round pick at this point, if not a late 1st-round pick, because of the way that he could shoot, because of the fact that he's 6'6", because of he's shown himself as a capable team defender, and because he's still that guy that has a little bit of point guard on-ball ability. And I think that his acceptance of that role kind of epitomizes the way that this group has said winning trumps everything else. Within that program. And it's not an easy thing to cultivate, man. Not in an era where there's so much money available if you end up being like picked 3 spots higher than somebody else.